Hey guys, what's good? This is Order of Opinion, and today we are talking about fantastic beasts and where to find them.
Or how to catch them all.
How to catch them all, because it was just a Pokemon movie, wasn't it?
You gotta look out for that unknown Pokemon, whatever the fuck they call it. The no-name or whatever the fuck.
The Obscurus, or Obscura, or the Prius. Who the fuck knows? It was another cloud enemy. It was just lost. We're just back in Lost.
That's what I was telling you. Like, if we're gonna hate on Doctor Strange having a fucking Ghastly as a bad guy, we definitely should hate on the movie basically taking a Pokemon premise.
Yeah.
Except for his Pokeball is one grimy suitcase that a fat man can't fit in. So.
So today we're going to be breaking this movie down. You can already tell we have some feelings about it. We're going to be giving it a rank. And
a rank?
A
score?
A score. I guess not really a rank yet.
We will be ranking something, though,
eventually, yes, we will be ranking the Harry Potter movies. So it will shuffle into that at one point.
Couple weeks. It should be done.
Yeah, that's the upcoming release. Dun, dun, dun. Because we're so special. About that. Anyways, for this movie, I gave it a 7.3.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't far behind. I thought I was going to fucking hate it. I actually gave it a 7.1. It really wasn't that bad. Was it stupid? Did I laugh at some stuff that were stupid? But it's like, at this point, you got to accept what's going on.
Well, they must have done something.
If I could do it with Strange, which half the shit, there's absolutely no explanation to, and it's completely out there. And Harry Potter, it's like, not Harry Potter, excuse me, Scam MacGyver, fucking Scam Newton, whatever the fuck his name is.
Newt Scandinavia.
Although I did like the wizard fights were sort of more like a Star Wars fight.
Yeah, it was like lasers or like guns. It wasn't like them like, oh, here's some lasers, and they have to say a word, and then the one dude's like, block, I'm going to shoot some other different colored laser that does something different.
Yeah.
It was just so like streamlined to just be like, pew, pew, pew. Like it made you feel like you didn't have to think about what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like you just look at them and be like, all right, they're going to kill each other somehow.
And the movie was sort of dark.
Oh, super
at some
dark.
points. People died.
It starts off with people dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 6 people, right? I don't know. A group of people getting eaten by blue flame.
Yeah.
Some Johnny Depp blue flame.
Some horror camera angles here that they took. Some like going in and out of third and first person. That shit was pretty cool.
You have to give them credit for that.
And here's my thing, though. Here's what I want to talk about. Wizards are spent so much time like going underground, like being hunted or whatever, and obviously there's an allegory there. But I'm not going to say what, because I don't care what. I'm not thinking about that. Why, me as a human, if I'm talking about having some magical motherfuckers, why wouldn't we want to fuck with them? These motherfuckers could save you billions and billions of dollars. They could rebuild infrastructure in a night.
It's like any accident they can just come and fix. Like there'd be no need for insurance.
There'd be no State Farm,
Yeah, we'd have no insurance.
You would actually have a State Farm agent that was a wizard like that just pop up and do some crazy magical shit for you.
That's right. The commercials would be true if it were in J.K. Rowling's world. I'd be down. Like, why do they hate on the... You know why? Is because they would take their jobs.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's
all we worry about.
I wonder what that allegory is, too.
Right? The wizards have to be oppressed because they're more useful? Like maybe humans...
And what it does is, because they're underground, the top-tier wizards are the most pretentious, lack of oversight motherfuckers ever. Because the fucking Wizard Council of Congress, whatever the fuck, which essentially is... It's a black president, a black female president, which they, to me, just sort of came across like the Bush administration, right? With their terrorist level shit of like danger.
Threat level orange.
Yeah. And all that. Like, that was sort of weird. And Grindelwald, who regrettably is Johnny Depp. As I'll tell you, when Johnny Depp comes in this movie, it gets a 0 for like 10 minutes. Yeah, may not have been his fault, but it feels like it's his fucking fault because I'm good off Johnny Depp.
And that might be the biggest weakness of the movie is the last 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's sort of boring.
It made it too long.
Yeah, they could have settled it down to one like more concise scene, or at least two scenes. But no, they had to do the classic Harry Potter. Here's 5 endings.
But at the same time, was it good? Because most of the times, like we said, the fat guy, he gets fucked over in movies. And this time the fat guy got sort of fucked over and then got everything back and rewarded.
The hot redhead.
The whore.
Was she
the mind-reading whore.
Apparently you're not allowed to, when you have a sister who's that whorish, you can't bring guys home. Even if it's for no business other than to go save the world. Or New York or where the fuck.
Yeah.
I was half expecting 1920 Spider-Man to pop up. That's what it felt like. It did. It didn't feel like a...
Yeah, like that piano, too.
Yeah. But it didn't feel like
Toy Story piano. Like, what the fuck? Every time.
I've got a friend in you. You just hear that shit pop up. But it didn't feel like a Harry Potter movie. The directing was way different.
It was a little old school, too.
Yeah.
The way shit was done.
It was more of an action. Yeah.
The character interaction was like a fucking... And, you know, Jacob, the long-lost fifth fucking stooge, he was great. He was almost like fucking Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Just a perfect sub-character.
Just naturally coming in with, like, what he would say, and it just makes it funny.
He was the necessary comic relief. He was the necessary, like, human perspective of all this wizardry shit going on. Because every time he came on the screen, kids, older people, you know, mid-aged people, mid-aged or even teenage people were laughing when he got on screen, and it lightened the mood.
That's right.
Of this pretty much lack of charisma cast, which I don't really know if that was the writing or necessarily the direction. I don't know, because I could hate on Scam Newton's performance. Scam Newton. What's his fucking name? Scandinavian Newt, whatever. I don't know.
Scam Newton. His name is Newt Scamander.
And that motherfucker walks on his side.
Yeah,
he runs on his side.
He has a pimp limp. Like, and from the get-go, even when he's not holding the case, he's like walking to the side. What the fuck was that? It started to piss me off.
Yeah, it was pissing me off. Dude. Me not understanding half the shit he was saying was pissing me off. Oh, and God. It really had nothing to do with his accent. It's like in theaters. Like, I watched it in 3D, I watched it in standard, and I watched it where there was a bunch of people in theater, and I watched it where there was no one in the theater. And you couldn't hear what the fuck half the time what he was saying. Especially when they have these diarrhea exposition scenes where it's just explaining everything about the unknown Pokemons. And then, like, talk about Pokemon. The motherfucker's suitcase was essentially the Safari Zone.
And to speak on that, like, one, the suitcase shit was fucking cool. And two,
it was cool.
How much can one person mumble in a movie?
Yeah.
Like, how did he even get a spell off if you have to say the words? That fool is like...
Yeah, and why like, bring up this chick that apparently, cheated on him because his dick is small?
Yeah, I don't know.
But couldn't he have magic to at least, like, make her fooled that he has, like, a 9-inch dick?
You talking about the chick who he has the picture of?
Yeah.
Fucking,
she was a taker.
Zoe Kravitz?
Yeah.
That's who that was, apparently.
Yeah. It wasn't good enough. He wasn't dicking her down.
Well, I don't get why she gets a credit for being a picture in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, why do you get the credit for being... They actually give her fucking post-credits.
You saw that?
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz. She's listed.
That's crazy.
As for being a picture. And the one that... Not even the magical pictures that move. What happened to that technology, Wizards? Did you gain that, like, later on?
Oh, don't even get me started on when or not they choose to use their magic. Oh, because there's a couple of times where he could have got that thieving-ass platypus, which was the dopest part of the movie. Another age-friendly thing that everyone can appreciate. Which is, like I said, so I'm getting off topic. The point I'm trying to make is the movie didn't have much charisma as far as the characters go, besides Jacob and maybe the red-haired whore.
The red-haired, but even her and her sister were pretty flat.
Yeah. No pun intended.
So was the enemies.
Huh?
So were the enemies. Like
some of them. I thought Colin Farrell did great. I honestly liked Colin Farrell.
I know, but he tried to be intense, and to me, it just didn't stick that much. It was almost, it was corny. Whereas when you look at the kid, he might have been the most intense character. Him and his family. With that super fade. Yeah,
they both had a super fade.
Super like '90s fucking white kid fade. Yeah,
Colin Farrell's coming out to the Bay.
It's coming out to the Bay.
He's getting that fade.
Getting the high fade.
And so. And Credence had that super like Caesar bowl cut fade. That shit was clean.
Yeah, that was crazy. That he looked like he was an Amish dude who fucked a Mormon.
And he was sort of a pussy. Like, he was getting his hands hit by a belt. Okay.
Yeah, what they
made it seem like he was like, getting sexually abused.
For all we know, he was. Like when you think,
and that was weird. Was Graves played that a little too perfectly?
Yeah, he was.
Where it was just the right amount of child molesting. He
was like, "Yeah, I got something special for you. I saw you standing next to me in my dream.
You're a special boy."
When I smoked peyote, I had a dream.
as he got his alleyway hand jobs, and then like he was getting his alleyway hand jobs, and then he heals the kid's hand, so he's like, "Man, I don't want that bloody shit on my dick."
Yeah, he's like, "I want your hands to be nice and baby soft when they're touching my dick. You better stroke the balls too, son."
All joking aside, that shit was weird. That shit was weird as fuck. That whole relationship was weird.
It was weird. Well, it makes sense at the end. At first, it seemed super out of place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything. A lot of things seemed out of place.
And then they all tie together. So is the movie that bad in that sense? No, actually,
no.
It ties itself up.
I think all the convoluted shit that they threw in almost gave it depth because, like I said, if it was focused on these like sort of weak characters, it would kind of suck.
Oh,
when really
focused, yeah.
Really the things to look for here are the effects, the beasts, to categorize them in a Pokedex.
Of the beasts, the Pokemans.
They want you to play Poke Snap in the theater.
Yeah, Pokemon Go and the Harry Potter Go, the beasts and.
But see, my point is that the beasts distract from the actual point of the movie, which was, the what the fuck was the obscurity or whatever the fuck it's called? The obscureness.
The obscure, yeah. No, I mean, I don't know, but it did a good job of hiding the main point of the story.
Yes. Like I said, while distracting you by introducing you these cool things. So you just got like these 5-10-minute scenes of just coolness, which really didn't have that much to do with the plot, except for to bring him and Tina together and all that shit. Because Tina was a fucking bitch, too.
Oh, she was.
She put him on blast twice.
Yeah, just to get her job back.
Yeah, just to get her job.
Self-serving, and she was a bit. Even though he was like, "I can help you."
And then when they're in the mailroom, and the dude her boss is like about to fire her basically, and Scam Newton could have said why that could have got her basically in more trouble. He didn't put her on blast. No, she looked at him and he was like, "All right," but she's always putting him on blast. Gets him killed, damn near. Gets him in jail and almost killed.
A death penalty by the Black Ooze.
And instead of just like trusting him with a suitcase, like she finds him and takes him to George Bush. So like but I think here's some things I did like about it though. I like that magic was just sort of implied. I sort of like that. So there was no need of explanation there. I think that the beast part, the whole part about the beast was probably the better part of the movie. The setup in this case was better than the conclusion.
Yeah.
You can tell too that this was finely crafted. This had care in it. Now, did it have that standout, potential that normal Harry Potter movies do? No. But in my opinion, I think those Harry Potter movies are pretty fucking overrated.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
and what I really liked about this movie is they chose good, relatively no-name actors, but they chose good actors for the roles. And I think the CGI
besides Colin Farrell and Johnny Depp.
I thought Colin Farrell was he was all right. Johnny Depp was definitely
You didn't really
terrible.
so you didn't like him that much. Well,
No.
I just don't like seeing him.
No, just the things he said in his accent were pissing me off. It's Johnny Depp, but
He's just doing too much as usual.
Yeah, but I also love the CGI in the movie. It looked real, and there was never a point.
In 3D, it was really solid.
Even in standard, there was never a point where they're standing there and you see it in the normal, movies where it almost looks like you can tell they're in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Everything behind them looks fake. It never looked like that. And then the interactions...
It sort of felt like a ride, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the interactions with the beasts, it looked like they were actually touching what they were trying to touch. Granted, not ultra realistic, but it was good compared to the shit that's been coming out.
And like you said, it was pretty well paced. Like, it moved along pretty well, and you sort of forget how much was fucking thrown into it at the end. Like, you sort of forget that all this shit was thrown in. So you just sort of buy into it. You're like, okay. And there wasn't really, super dull moments. There was either some whimsical, funny parts or, fucking some dark parts. As dark as, a Harry Potter movie could get.
It's way darker than, what you'd expect from
I don't
a Harry
necessarily
Potter
know
movie.
if it was for kids. I think it was a ploy to get kids with the beasts.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
So.
it was definitely for the aging demographic of Harry Potter fans.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I think, at least, that she was like, I need to make a book because everybody who made me $1 billion is getting a little older and needs to read something a little more adult. And so she just made that book as a response to aging Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
So, and maybe she's just a genius. It took them forever to fucking come out with the movie, though. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's 13 years later since they came out with
That's
the
what I'm
damn
saying.
book.
They changed that George. I think it was supposed to be George Bush.
Yeah.
But, so the movie starts with fucking Johnny Depp.
Shooting blue flame.
Yeah.
The blue dream flame.
And I already started hating it because I don't know why it's taken 40 years for anyone to realize that I'm over newspaper fucking being shown at the beginning of the movie to explain the plot going forward.
Oh, God, yeah.
Or give me clues through fucking newspapers. Get the fuck out of here. I don't give a fuck if it's cool Harry Potter newspaper.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. At least it's the cool moving newspaper. It sort of gives it a little more depth.
Yeah, and that just sort of already put me in a bad mood. But then they show Scam Newton sitting on a boat.
Twiddling his dick.
And he looks down when he sees people. He doesn't seem very socially he seems very socially awkward. I don't know how he processes things. It almost makes it seem like he has Asperger's or something.
Possibly, yeah. It definitely seems like that. His social skills are garbage, and he can't run straight. And
that's why he wants to kick it with the Fitzstooge. Because he knows people like him.
And he has a lisp. So he's that's sort of, he's definitely there in terms of what he's got going wrong with him.
Yeah. And he clearly is too bonded to the beast because he's willing to let them almost kill children. To, keep them safe.
And he's careless.
Yeah.
Unorganized.
And an asshole. So he's only thinking about what he's got to do and his creatures. He's not thinking about anyone else.
He's the...
He even had to be convinced to save Credence. He had to be convinced.
A little bit, yeah. He was about to peace out. He was like, I got what I needed. I'm going to the wilds of Arizona.
I got my invisible monkey. He's going to jerk me off with his feet later, and I'm not going to see it.
It'll come on his fur, and it'll only show for a little bit until he camouflages it in. And he just becomes all white.
He's like, I'm going to take care of this Dratini.
Yeah. And, his eyes saw the probability of me making him jack me off, and he ran away.
Yeah, and so then he comes to the port with his grimy suitcase that's rumbling, And of course the guy questions it, dude, what the fuck?
And he does
it's a rumbling fucking suitcase.
The classic 25-cent film case fucking magician's starter set trick. Where he hits the fucking muggle button and opens it up and false bottom.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there. And then he closes it back in. He's like, this is where I keep my dildos.
It's my muggle-worthy suitcase. And let's talk about that. No Madge.
No.
You brought up a good point that Americans would do some simple ass shit like that.
Yeah,
like just calling them no magic.
Combine the words. We wouldn't bother to come up with a slang for it. It's like alt-right. It's like at least the Tea Party came up with a name for it. Now we just call them the alt-right. Like, come on, man. So yeah, it'd be no match.
Muggle's cooler though, but it does sound like
Yeah, Muggle.
It sounds like a fucking Lord of the Rings species.
Sounds like something an English person would say about something.
And then the invisible monster causes a mini earthquake and fucks up a building.
It blows the building
up. And Colin
up.
Farrell, who you can already sense in your balls, is fucking a little evil.
Yeah, can they stop foreshadowing shit
Can we just? I mean, he's typecasted. I feel like now.
Well, yeah, because he's a scumbag. So he plays scumbags. He looks like I'll take the back. He looks like a scumbag.
Yeah, we don't know if he's a scumbag. It'd be cool because we're scumbags.
Yeah, he might be. He's Irish, so he probably is. I'm Irish, and my whole family's scumbags.
Yeah. Well, I can't say anything about that. I have been to Ireland though. And there's a lot of scumbaggery going on.
I guarantee it.
When I was in Ireland, there was these fucking 11-year-old kids. Seriously, we were walking to the liquor store, and these kids were like, "Hey, buy some fags, eh?" And I was like, "Yo, where'd that A come from?"
It's like
they want us to buy them some fags, and I was like, "Shit, dude, what the fuck? This is..." No, I didn't do it.
No. You could have supported lung cancer.
Not for Irish kids.
In the Irelands.
So anyways, yeah, so Colin Farrell, you can already tell he's got something evil going on. And then they cut to the rally of the second Salem of this wretched
Salem
fucking bitch.
God,
I thought they're called the second Salem.
No, it's like the Salem Revival or
No, it's the second
Corps.
Something. No, what? Yeah, sure. Yeah, they're the witch SWAT team.
The SWAT team.
So they fucking... She's starting some bullshit rally about killing witches or some bullshit like that. And fucking...
And what's-her-face eating the gross-ass hot dog.
Yeah, the super cheesy, mustardy-ass hot dog.
I like this scene, though, because you think it's about to be like a drop-off. Like, he's a criminal there to drop what you assume are, like, creatures in a box off.
You thought he was a criminal?
At first. Yeah, because the way it's set up, they show a guy coming with the exact same suitcase.
You think criminals would trust a kid with Asperger's?
Well, he's an adult with Asperger's.
Oh, well, I mean, he looks young.
I imagine he's like...
I thought it was Sunshine from Remember the Titans. I didn't know it was some other guy.
I guess he's like in his mid-20s. I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was a drop-off. Like, he was smuggling the monsters in.
All right, okay. And by that.
And so it really threw me off when he saw the shit happen and was like, oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And he looks down.
And she, of course, conveniently points him out and starts asking him some questions. He's like, I'm really of a chaser, really.
Yeah.
I have 8 Pokeballs on me now.
He had to walk into her line of sight first before she could approach him.
He was trying to battle her for some dough, you know?
And that hot dog. He was like, I could go for a meat tube right now.
And then, so Jacob comes in, the greatest character in this movie. He's a cool fat guy. Just a cool 1920s fifth stooge. It's supposedly dumb, not good with the ladies, fat, has a weird mustache, but just kind of cool. People relate to him because he's relatable.
Well, yeah, and he's a baker.
Yeah.
So people you can identify with a dude who wants to leave his job to start his dream. Because he's...
Of a bakery.
Well, I mean, it's just his dream. But he's stuck in some corporate... Well, in this era, it's factory job.
Actually, a bakery back in the day, that might be a lot more profitable.
Yeah, well, they didn't... the dude said, oh, well, they have machines now that do that. But in reality, the 1920s, that was still a pretty thriving time for owning your own business.
And that's what I sort of liked about that movie. I liked that it was in New York.
Yeah.
It was... To me, it was like... I liked that... And I haven't watched every single Harry Potter movie, but... I liked how it was more grounded towards, it affecting humans, too. Other than Harry Potter. This one really, the worlds interchanged a lot.
Yeah.
They're, almost transcendent to each other.
Harry Potter, it's like they only see the human world when they decide it's time to go there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's even true with the wizarding world. Like when you think about it, like most of the time in the Harry Potter movies, they go to Diagon Alley, one place in the entire world where there's wizards, and that's where a lot of their shit takes place. So I like that it spread it out, and they showed these, a wider range, like you were saying, of interplay between having hidden worlds and what is the human world and the magical world or the wizarding world.
Even though the council fucking sucked and apparently have to read maps to find out what shit's going on.
Magic maps. That light, they'll have LED lights in it or something. I don't know what the fuck was going on there.
Yeah, and they're just idiots, and they're like, well, we're above everything, even though we'll never find out anything. They're fucking assholes.
Like, yeah.
And so he runs to Jacob, and he fucking, his fat, sloppy slob ass fucking falls into the suitcase and accidentally grabs it. And they go in the bank or whatever the fuck, and they apparently switch it back, right?
That's what I think.
Switches, and he leaves some egg.
Some silver. And then, before that, you see the platypus or some money-grubbing fucking little
Which
rodent.
was the coolest thing.
Yeah, that dude was awesome.
What's a Niffenbort or whatever the fuck it's called?
I don't know what the fuck it was called. That shit was crazy, though.
Yeah, it was cool as fuck.
Stacking dough.
It's going to sell a lot of toys, that's for fucking sure.
Well, only if it has a realistic infinity pouch. You can put all the other toys in.
And that's the thing, as they show later in the movie, that black platypus is stacking chips
in his whole house suitcase. Is money.
So he should be a criminal.
Yeah, how often do you think he's let him get away with stealing shit?
It's in his nest.
Yeah.
You tell me he hasn't just looked in there and be like, oh, you son of a bitch, you stole millions of dollars of jewelry.
He probably goes in there and takes a couple coins every once in a while. He's like, I need some dough, man. Pay your rent. You asshole.
What if that's what's really going on? He abuses these animals and fucking makes them pay rent and shit.
Really? Well, I mean, he seemed to know a lot about the rhino mating calls. So how often has he fucked one of those giant lava rhinos, which is apparently a whale? What were they going for?
Yeah. Was it fantastic bestiality? That's my question.
Fantastic beasts and where to put it in them. That's the name of his third book.
I think what really happened to him, why he doesn't care about girls anymore, is because his ex-girlfriend caught him trying to fuck the twig.
Maybe. The twig was...
And then she fucked some other guy. She was like, I can't do it.
The twig
He tried to fuck a twig.
The twig unlocked his anus.
She said... That's why they're so attached.
Yeah.
So the cases get switched or whatever, and then that's when that's the first wand scene with Scam Newton. First magic wand scene. He pulls Jacob to him.
Oh, dude, but that was cool.
I liked it.
I didn't know.
And then that's when they started showing teleporting.
I didn't know wizards could do that.
To teleport like that?
Yeah.
It made it cool. It was like some Jumper shit. Like they were like Jumper. So it made the action, you don't never watch that movie?
No, yeah. I've seen Jumper. No, it was cool. It made it more abrupt.
Yeah.
Instead of them having to go to a fucking fireplace and throw some powder in there and be all fucking sad about it because they can't find the right fireplace or some dumb shit like they do in Harry Potter. This was just let's teleport, guys. Pew, 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 pew. Fucking just transporting everywhere, which made it so that, like I said, it made the action more abrupt. The first time they showed it, that brought a lot of action into a scene that was otherwise just walking 10 feet over into a hallway.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And a good way to intro him actually being a real wizard.
Yeah.
As opposed to just a guy with a suitcase full of fucking penis moles. Whatever the fuck that thing is.
Yeah, dude, penis skin moles. Jesus. So... He saves him, right? Or he saves Jacob or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And then that chick is following him, and she's a fucking bitch. She has no authority to be following him. Well, so she literally illegally arrests him.
Well, this is after Jacob smacks him upside the head.
Oh yeah.
And steals his suitcase.
And that's how he steals his suitcase.
Yeah. But no, yeah.
And even Scam was like, oh shit, well, that son of a bitch. She really just smacked me with a fucking suitcase and ran away.
I know, he didn't even seem to care that much. He was just like, all right. And then, so she illegally...
Oh, this is after they get the platypus from the safety deposit boxes. Which, like I said, I guess is cool for him to just, like, drop it and then leave it all open like that and run away. And paralyze a guy.
Yeah. That's weird.
Like, he's an asshole.
He did paralyze a guy.
He just came to America and caused commotion.
He caused... He did. He
should. He is a terrorist.
Yeah, all of the plot is being pushed. At least what you think is the plot is being pushed by him being a forgetful asshole. Like that's the only reason. He almost leaves a fucking egg somewhere, a magical egg. He just leaves somewhere because for what reason? Because he forgot. Like it's not a good enough reason, Mr. Wizard.
And then only attempted to save the egg. Really?
Right. He didn't even give a fuck.
And was like,
anything.
Here, human, you could fucking touch this thing that could grow 800 feet and kill you, but that's cool.
I know, and he whips him with the wand and is just like, let me get that egg back real quick. Oh, check this out later. He's like, you can stay down here in the vault because I don't understand what a bank robbery looks like.
Yeah.
He's just like, we're going to be cool. It's okay, man. He doesn't even seem to have any sense of urgency that they're robbing a fucking bank.
It's true.
It's just sort of everything about him is just so fucking blasé.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right, let's go.
I think he's a pothead. That's why. Maybe that's what it really is. He's a fucking stoner.
Yeah, really. Maybe.
Maybe that's why he's so awkward and looks down. He doesn't want people to see how fucking high he is. And
his eyes.
He has to run sideways because he fucking can't feel his body as he pops fucking magical edibles all day.
He thinks people are gonna know what his eyes look like. They're all red, and he's like, "Oh shit, I can't look anyone in the eye."
Or maybe he was shooting up that fucking monster manta ray shit that he was throwing at people that could fly.
Yeah, what was
Remember
that? Was that venom? A grub, and then it became a bird that was like...
And then he scares the fuck out of the fat dude with it for no reason.
Yeah, and even looks around, turns and was like, yeah, I did that. 3D scene.
Yeah. So he squirts that fucking evil venom out of it, and he shoots it up, apparently.
Yeah,
he has no more veins left, so he has to shoot it in his ass. That's probably why. He probably hit the wrong vein in his left butt cheek, so he has to walk sideways. He's he's kind of a scumbag. And so after they switch suitcases, that's when they start showing that second Salem shit being a real, like, Amish cult.
Yeah.
Right? In Credence with the super ball fade, they're feeding in some fucking Donovan McNabb Campbell soup.
Some chunky. They had your mama there. Feed you some chunky.
And
doesn't it look nice?
And she's like, "Oh, is this fucking crusty poo on my forehead a witch sign?
Is this a witch's mark, ma'am?" No.
And then she's like, "Credence, I'm gonna rape you. Go in the back."
He's like, "Take off your pants. I mean your belt. I want to whip you with your own dick."
And so apparently Tina thinks she has the right to arrest him, and she takes him to George Bush, the impression of a black lady, who was kind of, I mean, she's cool. I liked her. She was kind of sexy, too. I liked her Erykah Badu fucking look with the, the blonde hair. I was kind of digging it. She wasn't a good character, though. She doesn't stick out in the movie. Yeah. You sort of forget that she exists. And she's supposed to be ordering. And how many fucking meetings do these people have a day? I get it's major investigations, but you're telling me that if someone finds a major investigation, they can't come to you? Like, dude, the wizards are arrogant assholes. Yeah. Like, they don't let people figure out their own shit. No. They're like, no, you're not. Fuck you, dude. We only deal with catastrophic things. Yeah. Okay? Meaning only us getting exposed.
Right? Exactly. He's like...
Who cares if people die? But if people die because it might be because of us, and we'll get discovered, then fuck you guys.
Yeah, right? I get you have the smuggling case of the century, but fuck you. I've got to figure out what this fucking invisible wrecking ball is, essentially.
And like you said, she's been trying to ruin his whole life to build her career back up.
Yeah. She tries to throw him under the bus multiple times. And then her boss comes down when they're hashing it out, and he's just like...
After she finds out she's a fucking mail carrier, or the fuck she is, whatever the fuck she does.
Which he doesn't even say shit about. He doesn't even look at her and be like, wait, you're fucking a clerk? Yeah. at the Ministry, or what do they call it? Fucking Hydra?
Yeah.
No, it's like, I forget what the actual name of it was. But it was something ridiculous that sounded fucking awesome. Let me think. It's Makuza.
Yeah.
What the fuck? The Magical American... I don't know what the fuck the rest stood for. But they were. And then
Colin Farrell comes down and he's like, all right, I got to find some excuse to cover up my evil plan. As if that's not pretty obvious what's going on.
They made it too obvious in this one.
He's like, all right, let's see what's up with this suitcase. And it's fucking the donuts. Ooh, nice little twist.
So guess the switcheroo again.
So they cut to the fat man, and the funniest scene in the movie to me is when he looks at his grandma's picture. He's like, "Sorry, grandma."
Yeah. He just walks in. He's like, "Sorry, grandma. I wanted to be a baker.
Look at my shitty one-bedroom apartment. I have no furniture or fucking."
And then he gets attacked by a dick weasel. He opens the case.
That was a really nasty looking penis skin weasel.
It was just a weasel with a bunch of dicks on it. And they were just flopping around.
Yeah, it was gross.
It was fucking disgusting. I mean,
and then a bunch of other monsters get out, and here's the plot device.
Dun dun dun.
Right.
Like now we've started the real movie, so to speak. It's the Fantastic Beasts have finally exited the case.
And already in we should have a tally on this movie of the meanwhile scenes.
Oh, right? God.
While all this shit's going on, meanwhile, scene number 5, the second time we see the Salem Witch group with her fucking 18 abused children and her looking weird as fuck. No one questions shit.
Yeah, they're walking around like the Amish still.
They go and try and talk to the future mayor. And I forgot who that actor is, but that old guy, why does he always play like this dick old man that's like sticking up for his son?
It's a John Vogt, isn't it?
Tell me when he's not in a movie being a dickhead father that's like willing to do anything for his son.
Well, because when you're an actor that comes from
typecast
from that generation and you're that old, you just become a mean old guy. Like, it's true.
Yeah.
If you look at not to throw out some fucking spoilers, but Westworld, Hannibal Lecter, it's fucking Hannibal Lecter again in a TV show now. They just made him a fucking crazy old guy because he played a crazy old guy once.
Really?
So, I mean, it is what it is when you're that old and white. You get typecast into that old white guy role.
So, yeah, and then they cut out to another meanwhile scene where they are trying to spread the word to the newspaper influence, apparently, about killing witches
so much.
I don't know. Why were they hate? Another thing that they show, ignorance amongst wizards and humans. When you're in power, just ignore shit that's under their nose. Not worth their time. And that's when Shaw, his name's Shaw. I don't know who the fuck the guy was. But he calls Credence a fucking freak.
That's
which
right.
Deservedly he is.
Senator Shaw. Tells him to go to the trash.
The leaflets. Throw the leaflets. If I heard fucking leaflets one more time, I swear to God, my brain was going to explode.
Take your leaflets, children. And then you can get some Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, so, and Credence gives him this crazy look, and what I did sort of like about the movie was they had the little girl stare at him, like, implying that something's about to go down with this little girl. She's about to fucking do some Carrie shit right now, or some fucking...
Yeah, they make her out to be very ominous, and the whole, group of them is just, they give you the chills when they fucking walk in.
Yeah.
And then, even when they're, yelling, she's just, she stays super straight-faced. She's like, well, I hope for everyone's sake you change your mind. Let's go, children. That's when he drops his pamphlet and the dude calls him a freak. But in that scene, the way she says it and the way she's reacting to them is that's so chilling. She's like, I don't want... it's that weird preacher thing.
I thought she was solid.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want money. I just want the truth to be out there. I want your influence.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking, that had that weird fucking cult preacher feel to it. She did a great job with that character.
I did. I thought she was pretty solid. I also thought Credence was okay. I mean, like I said, for only getting hit on the hands and whooped with a belt, he made it seem like some really bad shit was going down.
Right?
I think she might have been starving them too.
Well, she had all
making
that
them
food.
Appreciate food.
So you think she gave all the food to the poor kids, but then didn't feed her own?
I don't know.
I could see that.
There's some weird themes there.
It's a cult, so you never know.
So then they go and find Jacob, who's got attacked by the penis armadillo, and shit's all fucked up. And like I said, why you probably need wizards. Scanaver fucking Newton, whatever his fucking name is. What the fuck is his name? Seriously, Newton Scamander, right?
Yeah,
Newton Scamander.
Newton, not Newton.
Scam Newton.
Newt.
Newt Scamander. All right. Newt Scamander. They show up to Jacob's apartment, and his shit's all fucked up, and beasts are loose, and there's hundreds of people that see it, and fucking Newt somehow magically tricks everyone into saying it's gas. So the cop's like, yeah, sure, it's gas, yeah.
What I didn't get about that was, did he do that to just the one guy, or did he do it to all of them? And then why didn't he do it when he fixed the side of the house? Like, they're not going to notice the house being put back together with magic?
That's what I said.
That doesn't make any... Like, that scene didn't make a lot of sense.
But it looked cool, the way they directed it. How he, like, ran up there and fixed the place before she came back in.
Yeah, that was cool. He just sits down as it's being rebuilt.
Yeah, that was
like, not
cool.
Shit's happening.
So he realizes some monsters are gone, and Jacob's bit, and he's got some gonorrhea in his neck, and they're saying he might shoot some flames out of his ass. And you're like, ha ha ha, that's funny, I guess.
Well, if they had shown it, it'd have been funny.
Yeah, I wanted to see it.
Well, okay, I thought about that, and they couldn't show it because then it'd just be an Adam Sandler movie. Like, it'd literally go from being serious to Adam Sandler real quick. Well. Nutty Professor bullshit.
All right, well, okay. Well, I can live with that. And Tina's like, I need your help. We need to get this guy who's going to fuck him. My sister will.
That's right. She's like, well, we need to go back to my spot, but I can't have guys with me because my sister's a fat whore.
Yeah. When really she's hot.
But she doesn't seem to care that there's just people in her house while she's standing in her underwear.
Because she's a slut.
Well, I can you even call that underwear? Because in the 1920s, underwear was like a whole suit.
Those were underoos.
Yeah, that was like a whole suit. It wasn't like she was sitting there in scantily clad.
Yeah.
She just had to wear a dress for no reason now? You're going to make her put on a dress?
So they meet each other, and the fat dude, you know, he's already eye fucking her.
Yeah, they kick
She's
it
like,
off.
It's okay.
So
I get eye fucked all the time. I don't know.
That's what it made it seem like. Like he was high off the venom or something, right?
I hope so.
Because otherwise he's just being a fucking goofball.
Yeah. And they magically cooked them dinner.
Just streusel, though.
Just streusel. That shit did look smacking, though.
It did.
It looked fucking delicious. Sorry, guys. There's some cops driving by. We're doing our area in the streets, actually.
Yeah, we're podcasting in the streets. So we got to hope that nothing goes down in the streets.
Because we're technically homeless.
It's just us and Logan hanging out.
So, yeah. So he eye fucks her, and they cook them some dinner, and they make them hot cocoa, which apparently is a joke. I love that
scene. Like he was like, they were trying to dip. He's like, but she made us a hot drink. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, and then I like how he gets stuck trying to go and like they reveal, oh, you can actually walk into the suitcase. Like apparently it has that much fucking space in it, which they explain in other Harry Potter media that you can just enchant shit to fucking open up into rooms. I don't know. That's some Doctor Strange shit. That's all this is. This movie is. They did Doctor Strange better. Like they
mixed in a little Star Wars.
A little bit, but they actually made you feel like there were different dimensions in this one. Just him going, like when he was walking through for the first time into like what looks like a little closet and it just expands into a cave. Like, as he's already in the fucking expanding...
Well, that was weird, too. Were those, like, fucking movie sets?
That's what it seemed like, yeah. I don't know.
Like, he expected... That is torture if he expected him to live in that small fucking enclosed places.
Well, it seems
Or is his magic so strong that he created a utopia within a suitcase?
Well, it seems like some of them were in, like, a painted enclosure, and then some of them, like, the ones with the fucking hanging dick mouths were, like, on the wilds of the Serengeti, apparently.
Yeah.
What was up with that? How much space is in this goddamn container? Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That's what's crazy. And that's when you get intro to the...
Which makes you think, like, why isn't he doing crazier magical shit, like, during fights and whatnot?
Well, maybe he's a good enchanter, but not necessarily duel... Because they do explain that dueling is...
different.
A skill.
Well, who gives a fuck?
That's why the one dude can just deflect everybody at the fucking...
So then here comes the big, great 3D scene. Right? They go in the suitcase.
They intro...
Jacob's fat ass can't get in.
Yeah.
They intro... Oh, yeah, the alleyway hand job.
The alleyway.
With Colin Farrell and the underage Credence. Yeah, because Colin Farrell's basically talking about this floating unknown Pokemon.
As he stares at him across the street. Like, oh, I see you, boy. Let's get in there.
So, yeah, they have that weird relationship going on in Exposition City. Him talking about the obscurity, whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah. What is it, then?
Obscurus?
Obscurus.
I have no clue.
Whatever. Obscurity. And, that just gets a little weird. And then Credence goes back to his fucking second Salem, and she beats him.
That's right.
Kind of a weird turn. The movie was like...
Well,
it went from these enchanted beasts, right? It goes like... They show the Colin Farrell dark scene, then they go into the suitcase scene, which is 3D CGI fest, but it looks cool. It's got a lot of depth to the CGI. The Beast characters are pretty cool.
In 3D it did.
In 3D it did, yeah.
Not otherwise. I mean, no, otherwise it still had pretty good depth. Like
that was for the kids.
It would suck if you watched it on like your computer.
The Beast scene, that whole scene was for the kids.
I thought it was sort of cool. Like they did do a good job of making it more of a world inside of a world type situation. Like once he steps into there, it's like this crazy fucking place full of these ridiculous animals, like giant dung beetles. Apparently, where are they getting all that shit from?
And he wants to send his Native American symbol
to the wilds of
Arizona.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't get that.
and then. Like I said, plot device. That's when he explains why he was really there. As he was saying he was buying some fucking American platypuses, or whatever the fuck he was calling them. I don't know. Papooses, or he's going to get some fucking good papooses.
Yeah, some pork papooses.
And, yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. I mean, that's sort of like a weak reason to walk around with this apparently very, very unpredictable suitcase that you have to watch constantly to make sure it doesn't pop open.
Yeah, why does it keep fucking opening up? They never explain, like, motherfucker, fix the locks.
Yeah.
Like, you have spells, you have a fucking twig that can do that, motherfucker.
That's true.
I don't get it. Maybe he had overstuffed it. It was just literally popping out.
Well, then that makes him even more of an idiot.
Well, yeah.
And, yeah, so... Credence get beaten. They show some grimy shit going on with that lady. So now you realize, okay, this lady is fucking insane.
Yeah, so now he's checked off his list and is like, all right, these are the animals we need, and we'll start with that fucking thief platypus first.
Yeah. Yeah, so they get him. That was a really cool scene, especially in 3D.
When he's
pulling the jewelry off.
Oh, yeah.
All that.
Why does it stick to their clothes,
even him chasing him in the jewelry store was kind of funny and cool.
Why does it stick to their clothes, though? That's what I didn't get.
Yeah,
And then there's a lion that pops out of nowhere because the zoo's all fucked up.
Yeah. Because of the Starship Trooper Rhino that's fucking...
That shoots lava
That's terrorizing kids. Because he's a fucking asshole. He'd rather protect the rhinos than the kids. And then, so he gives... our friend Jacob a fucking 1920s New York Giants football outfit.
Right?
Which actually looks kind of wet. Like, I wanted to rock that shit.
Leather armor, which even then he was
it looked raw, though. Like, I'd wear that in real life. I'd be like 50 Cent, except for with the wooden... or not a wooden, a fucking leather fucking...
Well, what I don't get, too, is he says, like, this will help your skull from breaking. Then you look at the animals, like, that wasn't going to help his skull from breaking at all.
Because Scam Newton doesn't care.
He doesn't, apparently.
He doesn't fucking care.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he said Jacob was his friend, but, like, was he his friend or was he his lackey? Was he looking for a lackey? Because it looks like every time he brought Jacob somewhere, he wanted him to do something.
Well, to a degree. And I think in this fight he wanted him to back the fuck off, which he fucks up.
Getting the rhino?
Yeah, because...
Well, yeah, he does some weird mating shit, which I guess was also, like, funny, I guess.
It's pretty funny.
It looked fucking weird.
He was being a weirdo. That's what was funny about it. Well, I don't get
I think his hair just pisses me off.
Is it a rhino? What is it? A rhino, a whale, or a volcano? I'm confused as to what that animal is.
It's a Starship Trooper fucking rhino.
It has a blowhole, but it's full of lava.
And it was trying to rape Jacob.
It was trying to rape Jacob. Which was sort of cool.
It even got to the point of licking him.
Well, that was what was funny is he's being sucked into the suitcase as they're sliding across the ice just to get to the point where he can sort of lick his face.
Yeah.
And he looks at him and he's like, yeah, I'm glad you're safe, you fat idiot. I told you not to fuck around and you put all of this shit on you. Ruined my dance that I was doing.
Yeah, he was trying to have sex. I think he was pissed off. And stupidly... As they capture the rhino, in the middle of where a zoo just got destroyed, which he didn't fix.
Yeah, under a bridge.
A fucking baboon is loose and an ostrich is running all over the place. And you're fucking gonna just put yourself in a suitcase by that area under a bridge on ice.
And then the chick just sits on it, locks them in.
And she conveniently finds them.
That was her, and that was her solution, just sit on it.
Yeah. And, of course, she's a fucking bitch.
So she goes to snitch on him again.
She goes to,
Again.
And, like, really, at the end of the day, like, what did she have to be scared of? Like, okay, so here's my question. So think about this. All right, now, this gets into this big scene. Now, the potential mayor, Shaw, is at his...
well, he's a senator, isn't he?
He's a senator, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They're having their little press conference and that shit. And, I think she wasn't originally going to turn in the suitcase. She was just going to take it. And then once she saw that all the lights went out in the city and that shit was about to go down, she thought it was one of his beasts.
I think she was going to go turn them in regardless.
Yeah.
I think she's anything to get her job back.
Yeah, she wants to move up the ladder.
Yeah, so they do. They have all the lights shut off. That was sort of an eerie scene, I'm not going to lie, because back then, if the street lights went out, it was pitch black.
Yeah.
You know, and then they go to him giving his speech, which the Shaw guy, he's not a very good speech giver.
Yeah.
Like, every time it mess up, he'd try to start again, and just, like, you were cringing for him. Like, dude, just shut up and stop talking.
Yeah, he sucked.
And then he dies, so then it's great. Then it works, because you never have to hear him say anything again. He gets killed by the invisible beast, which must kill, like, 12 other people who are sitting there, right?
Yeah. Easily, yeah. People were flying.
Yeah. And then it lifts him up, kills him, and shreds that shit. And the dad's like, "Oh, you killed my son." Witches. Yeah. And now he believes
No, the son was. The son said that.
Well, the son says that, and he's, like, excited when he sees his brother die.
Like, my fucking brother died. Fuck that guy.
Dude, well, they were being assholes to him.
Yeah.
He had the most legitimate story that newspaper was ever going to run, and they just kicked him out.
That's true.
And because of that, his brother gets murdered.
Yeah. And he's smiling about it.
They should have just listened to him.
Because that guy definitely was a fucking asshole.
Yeah, he was a super
All three of them were assholes. Because they're shit dad who can only play one role in Hollywood right now. And so she brings it up to the Madam President, and they're having apparently a wizard UN meeting.
That's where she finds out that someone has actually died because of them. Which they don't know.
And her stupid ass trying to move up the ladder gets herself in trouble.
Yeah, she does. And that's what pissed me off. That's what made me hate the president. Is she's like, well, you knew about this for a day and you didn't tell us. Like, bitch, she did try to tell you. She knew about it for a day because a day ago you kicked her out of your office when she tried to tell you, you dumb idiot. Like,
and she didn't even remember it either.
Yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, that guy you were talking about. Yeah.
Wait, you've known for a day?
Yeah.
You let this go?
She tried to tell her a day ago.
So she was going to be sent to death for something that the president fucked up on, essentially.
Well, that's how the wizarding world works in Harry Potter.
Because who gives a fuck, right?
Nobody gives a shit.
So they get arrested, and of course Colin Farrell doing some evil shit gets them arrested, and then they are in the jail cell, and Exposition City comes through, or how they explain the obscurity. Because remember when they showed the dead body
of the senator.
What's that thing called? Where they were like projecting it.
Oh, I don't know.
Hologram of the dead body, and he's like, look at the marks. You could tell, as if the viewer would know what the difference is, that it's not a beast.
Yeah.
And
like, y'all should know what this is.
It's like, don't take my beast. No one will harm anyone, even though I literally have the same obscurity that I said just fucking murdered somebody.
Well, his is a dead one.
So what?
It doesn't work like that.
You still shouldn't have it. He knows he shouldn't have it.
Yeah. He even tells the fat guy not to go.
So why couldn't you say it at first? Why couldn't you say it to everybody at first? Hey, look, I do. The only thing I do have is something this and that. I saved it because I thought my girlfriend was gonna be okay with my penis size. She wasn't.
He's like, I thought that the black stuff in it could be used as a penis enhancer, but I haven't really worked on that yet.
So was he taking care of the baby mama?
Is
that what was going on?
Yeah. Maybe
he was trying to shoplift that pussy?
I think so. He was
trying. So the Tina chick's a cunt. You could tell even though she's like, this even makes it even worse, even though she's snitching on him all the time, she still kind of wants to like fuck him.
Yeah, they do imply that they have, which, I mean, do they though?
I don't know.
Because I don't even feel like that exists until the very end, and then now somehow they're in a not in a relationship, but now somehow they like each other at the very end.
Right. And yeah, sort of weird. And then, so after they're in jail, then they meet up with Colin Farrell, and he explains why. And then they start throwing some Harry Potter shit about Dumbledore and fucking double dildo and all that shit.
Yeah.
And
Dumbledore
and double dildo, whatever.
Double dildo.
Double-sided dildo. He was wondering why he liked Newt Gingrich. He was like, I want to know why.
Because he got kicked out of school.
And then another evil hint, as he's talking about the obscurity, he's like, well, you don't have the host, it's useless. And Newt's like, wait, why are you saying the word useless? It's a fucking parasite of dark energy.
Yeah, but they never explain it. So that's what I think it is useless. Like, it's just.
But did you sort of like that? Not explaining it didn't make it as whack as fucking Doctor Strange. We were like, oh, Dormammu, he's there.
Yeah.
His purpleness is everywhere.
He lives in a dimension of no time because that's how long you actually think it takes to watch the movie.
So, yeah, and then at this point, as he sends them to death, which he apparently can do, just for committing treason, it's a death sentence.
Yeah, and it's where they meet the nicest executioner ever, or maybe the most stereotypical executioner ever.
I liked it. I liked the weirdness of it. It was a little demented.
That was with the ladies that were taking them in. They're just sitting there smiling, like, yeah, we're about to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. And then it's like
this
a
fucking
depth
1990s Janet Jackson silver pole. You look like you're in a Michael Janet Jackson video.
Yeah, and there's just some weird acid bath or something.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just shoot him in the head?
Yeah.
Like, why do they have to do everything magically?
Or wand them in the head.
Well, yeah. Why does everything have to be magical?
And while all this is going on, Graves leaves the station to get another hand job from Credence, and that's when he realizes, he's like, man, dude, you have too much scars on your hand. Like, I got to clean that up for you to give this to me. And Credence is like, oh, just hug me. Like, that shit was weird. It was fucking weird.
Well, that's when he
I didn't get if it was a dad-son relationship or like a
him.
brother. I know, but to Credence.
Oh, to Credence.
Was he just sexually confused?
Well, no, that's like him he basically told him, like, I can teach you magic. Like, I don't think it's like son or brother. It's just like, I want to get what this guy has.
Yeah.
And he's telling him that. And then that's also when he tells him that the Obscura, or whatever it's called, is going to be a young child. Yeah. Within a certain age range that's, like, close to his mom or something like that.
Yeah, and he's telling him, like, peep it. Like, find who it is.
Which I don't... Isn't that a weird request for someone who doesn't know magic? Like...
Yeah, why can't he just do that?
That might be the biggest, like, plot hole of this movie, is why that kid specifically.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Well, remember he did say he had wizard... ancestry.
Yeah, but
that he was basically a fucking dormant jackass.
Did he mean that, or did he just say that to, like, as a bite at the kid?
Well, obviously he did have wizard background, so he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And it is Grindelwald, so he just has to twist his fucking beach blonde mustache and figure it out. A fucking piece of shit.
So yeah, now he's told him that has to be a child, essentially.
Yeah.
And so look out. And he's like, it could be every kid.
It's a no-name Pokemon.
Yeah, he's unknown. You have to keep flying around until you find it.
And so they're about to kill them. They're about to kill Tina. Of course, she's crying and hoping Newt to save her, even though this was her whole fucking fault.
Then he comes out with
his
weirdest...
twig that he tried to rape earlier gets him out from his some pretty shoddy handcuffs for a fucking ultimate wizard.
Yeah, and his yo-yo dragon. Like, his twig and his yo-yo dragon are his best tools, apparently, in this whole movie.
And then while this is going on, the redhead uses her horror ways and basically tells the guy, hey, look, if you don't let me... And here's my thing. I want to get to this. I know it's Obliviate, but they fucking said Obliviate sometimes. I heard that shit. It was pissing me off. I couldn't tell if it was Obliviate or Obliviate.
I didn't hear it, but...
And so so she gets Jacob... basically tells the guy, like, look, I'm about to snitch on you to your fucking bitch and tell you you've been fucking some other bitch. So you better give me this fault.
And I don't even get... Even if he knew that the dude's going to risk his job, like, for what? So that this chick can go Obliviate? Laurence Olivier? Like, so that they can basically do that so that... For what reason? You know, that dude's like, oh, I might lose out on my chick. Or you'll get put to death, apparently. Because that's what happens when you fuck up at the Ministry of Magic. You get put to death. So You
can't risk our secrecy or else we'll kill you.
Yeah, so...
What the fuck kind of shit is that? They're almost cartel.
Essentially, yeah. And that's
they're the magic cartel.
Well, that's the backwards thinking that they've had in all the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
They really don't fucking...
Wizards they're selling their
dumb.
venom,
Yeah,
too.
Wizards are dumb.
And they're dumb because they're not really educated.
Yeah, they're have no education. In magic. They don't learn anything. They don't learn math. They don't learn science. Why would they need it? If you can rebuild the side of a wall...
You don't need science if it's magic. Science is irrelevant.
Science is irrelevant. They don't need to do normal people things. But then it makes them make terrible decisions.
So Tina and Newt, of course, escape. And Jacob and the redheaded whore... who's mind reading and mind fucking everybody, puts them in a suitcase and they escape. Great. Right? Then they're in the briefcase talking about some shit as he's showing them the animals and all that. And that's when he asks him about Credence, right? From the pool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he finds out that she had something to do with attacking his mom.
Yeah. Well, that's how she explains how she lost her job. That she used her magic on a human and got in trouble for that. And so she lost her job because she couldn't watch Credence getting beat. So
that's a weird one.
That explains that, I guess. And then, like I said, this sort of forced fucking, like, non-existent memory that they talk about all the time with his ex-girlfriend, apparently.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck was that? I didn't get it. Just to give him some depth?
No, I think she's gonna come back as being a character.
Yeah, but it was sort of like it just was like okay.
And it goes to show that he's not the greatest person either, because Lestrange in the other Harry Potter movies is like one of the main, like that family. The chick from that family is like one of the main lieutenants for for Voldemort.
Oh, hey, did we say that the senator got killed?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yes.
All right. I was just making sure because he got fucking murked. He got killed from that dark cloud. Yeah,
the Dormammu came in and killed him.
And so they are alluding that it's this girl. It's this blonde girl that's singing some weird fucking witch song, dude. It's creeping you the fuck out. Definitely not for kids. She's singing that witch song about how witches die and shit.
Yeah, that was
so they
weird.
keep alluding just through camera angles alone that this girl is fucking evil.
Well, I mean, that's what they keep trying to make you believe, yeah.
Yeah.
The whole family.
I think they do a good job at that.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. Because you honestly, by the time, come the end of the movie, you think that everybody is someone they're not really supposed to be.
Yeah. And so then that's when they show the little girl, like, she takes the leaflets and, like, throws them in the street.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, she's the one. She's it. She's the obscurity, whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then they show our 4 heroes on the rooftop. And another character forced. They show, what the fuck was his name? The elf? The Al Capone elf?
Oh, yeah.
Tina's like, hey, I have this informant that I have. And she, of course, fucks the day up again. She fucks it up again.
It's the Ron Perlman elf. Is he an elf, a goblin,
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I don't know if what's a goon to a goblin?
He's just got weird curly fingers.
Yeah, well, he was jerking off too hard.
That
cracked all his fingers backwards.
That shit made me uncomfortable to look at. I was not liking his character model.
I thought it was cool.
I don't know, the fingers.
They go to the fucking Star Wars cantina in the 20s.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, this informant will let us know what's going on so we can find your other fucking creatures. You got an invisible baboon walking around in a fucking Dratini somewhere. So they go to this cantina to get some info from this dude.
He snitches.
And of course, like every other infamous crime boss, he snitched.
Yeah. They didn't even say that he got anything out of it, too. He was just like, no, I told on you. All right, later.
He's like, I want that twig.
Yeah, he wants...
cut some locks.
I want your weed stem that you wear in your lapel.
And, yeah, so that was sort of like it was a weird scene.
It definitely was not. I don't know. It was whatever. The chick singing was like aesthetically unappealing to me.
Yeah.
His hands were unappealing to me. It was just an ugly scene.
Yeah.
Like, it made me not want to watch that scene specifically. Like, dude, that chick that was singing was like gross.
Well, it wasn't a chick. It was an elf.
Well, remember? Yeah, whatever it was gross.
And then that's when he, like, I sort of like this too. Jacob, like, grabs all this fucking the giggle sauce, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
He's always like, ha!
That was
all
these
weird
funny.
ass laughs. He gets yoked by a fucking 2-foot elf. He's like, yeah, my uncle was an elf.
That's right.
My son was an elf. He's dead now.
What?
And so and then they go to the big scene, where Credence finds the wand,
which you keep assuming it's the sister.
Yeah.
You keep assuming it's the sister, and then he goes and it seems like he doesn't even snitch on her though. Like,
no, he doesn't. Not at all. Yeah, because she finds the wand and she's about to beat his ass, and he's like, all right.
Yeah, and then the chick even snitches on herself, and the mom's like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to beat him.
Yeah.
And so the fucking Obscura goes dumb and kills her. Like, goes
fucks her up.
Dumb. And you have to assume it killed the other older daughter because she was a bitch, too.
Yeah, she was. They're fucking leaflets all around.
Yeah, I'm tired of leaflets, dude. Stop printing.
Yeah, and then while that's going on,
it's shockingly,
Tally 8 number
switches,
meanwhile
switches to them finding, like, that was such an abrupt scene change. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, she's dead. Wait, no, they got to find a monkey now in Sears. What the fuck?
And we got to get a Dratini in a teapot with a roach. Like, that shit was cool, though. It was all right. That was a nice little
It was
cool
an
action.
interesting idea for a scene. And
Yeah.
I like how the monkey's eyes could, like, see the future, I guess, and they saved Jacob. Lightweight.
He always has to be saved. Because apparently they just want to bring around a human to almost die.
Well, yeah, because that's all he's useful for is almost dying.
Yeah.
And so then they go to, they saved with this genius idea of throwing a roach into a teapot. Where she does the run jump of a century off the fucking serpent.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then they close the wrong lid on it, and now they're all back in the fucking suitcase.
Yeah.
Well, first they show
Oh, yeah, no, they show the aftermath of Credence killing his mom.
Yeah, they show,
this was sort of a vicious scene, too. Like, Colin Farrell just fucking punches him right in the face.
Yeah, he's like...
Get over it, bitch. We gotta go.
Stop crying and socks him.
So you already know what Colin Farrell's up to. Something, you know. It ain't just those eyebrows. It's something's really going on.
He's trying to get the daughter. Like, he's trying hard. And then they end up in the fucking suitcase again. And they're talking, having a good time. And it starts raining.
Yeah.
And they're like,
they start smoking the weed.
Yeah.
The weed stems.
And then the bird makes it rain. He's like, something bad's about to happen.
Yeah.
Because that guy made it rain, even though it was raining when I first started the movie. Like, when we first saw him, it was raining and nothing bad happened.
Exactly.
I didn't get it. But then they switch back to Graves being a pervert, trying to find a little girl. They go to some 12-kid family's old house, because that's where she's going to be.
And that's where he tells Credence, you useless fuck.
Calls him a squib.
You got some magic in you, but you're definitely a fucking pussy, piece of shit. And Credence is like, I thought you were my friend. Like, he's all those times I touched your dick.
He's like, you're about as useful as that fat homeless guy that lives on Hogwarts. Like, basically is what he told him, is like, you'll be nothing. Goes and finds the girl, and like, that's when
No, he tells him your reward is that your stepmom died.
That's right.
You piece of shit.
He's like, your reward is your mom's dead. Enjoy it. And walks away, which is sort of raw for a Harry Potter movie. That was sick dialogue.
And I like the setting of like her house. It's like this fucking meth drug house.
Yeah.
That like a fucking conjuring spirit would be there, you know?
And then he goes up against the girl and he's trying to say, like, that's where Colin Farrell's weird. He keeps going in and out of like, okay, he's stern, but maybe he does
care
sort of give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's when they have the reveal of the century, which, I mean, I'm not going to lie, this movie did such a good job of making the little girl seem evil that you skip over Credence.
Yeah.
And
it's that bowl cut. You should have known.
Yeah, the bowl cut gives him energy. It's like solar paneling, but for magic. And so he rips down 3 walls in between him, and he's standing there, and he's like, I don't want to keep it in.
Yeah.
He's like, you can control it. You're a miracle.
I think he was done, like, tucking his penis in.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He's like, I don't want to keep it in anymore. And then he fucking becomes...
Or is that an allegory to him being gay?
Maybe. But maybe that's why he's living in the shadows. Because that's what it is. He becomes the lost shadow and flies away and throughout the house. And he's like fucking the street up. And Colin Farrell's walking along like, you are a miracle. He's like basically...
Yeah, now he's all crying and shit. But see, like I said, that I almost like believed it. That Colin Farrell was enamored with his full power, and he was like, I'm about to fucking start killing some motherfuckers now.
Well, since he's Griswoldy or whatever his name is, fucking, yeah, I could see that, because he is using this as a way to get more powerful, and now he sees, like, ultimate power, and he's sort of fucking tripping out. He's like, oh shit, I can use this kid. But
it's true.
He never gets the chance to, because the kid goes fucking insane. Starts tearing up a whole city. That shit looks
stupid.
I mean...
Even in 3D, it looked fucking dumb.
It looked dumb, but it was intense. Like, if that makes any sense. Like,
no, it wasn't intense
like
at all.
But for what it was building up action in the scene, because otherwise it would have just been garbage. Like, if it was just a floating fucking cloud, at least it has it tearing through, like, actually destroying shit.
Yeah. I can see that. And then while that's going on, they go back to the fucking rooftop, the pigeon coop.
Yeah, and they see him
and
fly by.
And she's like, yeah, my dad used to fucking breed owls, if that's relevant.
Yeah, why are they at a pigeon coop? What were they doing there?
And so, like I said, Scam Newton has to be convinced to fucking go save him.
Well, yeah, when they see him fly by, he's like, that's the biggest, most powerful set of balls I've ever seen fly by me. And then he has to teleport himself to go talk to the kid.
Then all that got weird.
When did he become...
And Colin Farrell and fucking Tina get into a fight in the street, and she could somehow go one-on-one with him. Yeah. And they show multiple times he could scrape like 5 wizards at once.
Yeah, there's one scene where he's literally blocking like 12 people shooting at him while simultaneously shooting back. Like, and yet he can't stop her.
And then all of a sudden when Credence is done almost destroying the whole fucking city already. Wants to make a little subway stop.
Which was a cool shot.
Like the actual Gingrich is following him. And then, now the Wizard fucking Congress notice what's going on. From their fucking map. Their
1920s touchscreen.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we'll go save them or we'll be exposed. Not let's save lives. Let's save them so that we don't get exposed. Even though probably hundreds of people have died.
And they make the bubble of enclosure, which I don't get.
Yeah, the Gungan bubble from fucking Phantom Menace.
People are still seeing it. Like, people are lining up to look at this event that's going on. What was their plan?
Here's what really doesn't make sense. All right? So we get the ending. They were all obliterated or obliviated, whatever the fuck they were saying. Motherfucker, they took pictures. Were those erased?
Yeah.
Pictures were erased.
Bro, there's like 4 cameras in the whole city. It's the 1920s.
Man. Somebody looked through that shit, bro.
It's the 1920s. They didn't have cell phones.
I don't buy it.
You know how long it took to take a picture back then?
He was taking pictures.
No, I get that.
It was documented.
But when the rain fell down, they all just sort of stood there for multiple seconds.
So they're never going to look through their camera.
They probably took the cameras from them.
Okay.
This is like the Men in Black. They got their shit on lock. There's a reason they haven't found out before.
So yeah.
So he has to go.
So he goes to the subway.
Little bitch and Newt Gingrich. Talk.
Yeah, Newt Gingrich is basically like he's imposing on his personal space, and he's like, "Hey, can I come over there?" Like, dude, you're already like 10 feet away. You can't just fucking talk to him. You already been talking to his goddamn CGI cloud for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and so then he tells him the story of the other girl he knew, and for whatever reason, that's calming him down.
As if that's relevant to us as a viewer. And
then Colin Farrell comes and is like, you know what? Who cares? And he just starts zapping him. He just starts fucking zapping the dude. Like what does he think's gonna happen?
In true Star Wars fashion.
Yeah, shoots lightning at him and then lifts up the rails to flip him off, which was sort of cool. But I didn't like that scene where he's shooting the lightning at him because literally him doing the same fucking understroke, like, to shoot lightning in one direction. And the guy's like, it's just one. It is like the Star Wars scene, like when he shocks Luke and it's just like, like it's just so like.
It looks dumb.
It's just it's CGI. There's like no weight to it.
And all this time, Credence is super constipated and he's like about to fucking shit out some black magic and.
He like shoots out of the ground and cuts a building in half.
Yeah, he starts just really fucking shit up, and then the wizards kill him.
They all start shooting it, which is cool. They actually show magic coming out of the tip of a wand instead of it just being this like force.
Yeah.
Like they're showing
it kills him. They kill a kid.
He like explodes and then Colin Farrell.
They kill a kid who has been shown that he's controlling it.
Yeah, and then Colin Farrell goes on this dumb like speech where he's like, "Why would you do that?" He's like, "I wanted to rape that kid some more, and you took him from me. You turned him into weird
fools."
Floating.
Sound like fucking Shao Tsung from Mortal Kombat,
right?
You fools.
And then that's when he literally starts walking at them, and he's down to thump.
Yeah,
he's like, "All right,
I'll fight all." No, this is what I really liked. I want to touch on that. Colin Farrell did so good that. Like, that scene alone, his face was pretty, like, it gave it away. Like, it made you think, like, okay, this fool's thinking, like, oh, I got no more way out. Fuck it, I'm fighting.
Yeah, he literally just looked up and around and was like,
all right.
All right. He just started walking towards them and was winning for the most part until Newt comes with the flying manta ray and some new shit he has that he's never explained before, which is, like, the tree sap of containment or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And
that'll also show your true identity.
And then Newt casts a spell. He did say a spell. He does the little spell. I forget the name of it, but how would he know? Like, at what point did they ever show him key into this fact? He was just like, "Oh, I caught him. Now let's see who he really is."
Yeah,
it was like
some Scooby-Doo shit.
That's what I was about to say. It was some Scooby-Doo shit. I was half expecting.
It's red herring.
That's why he said the loaded shit. He looked at him. He's like, "We all die a little, and that stupid dog."
And like I said, when you see Johnny Depp, I went from a smile to a frown.
I know, and then the way he talks. We all gonna die a little? It's like, God, could you be any more Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you think you can contain me?
Yeah, he was already pissing me off.
Right.
And then here comes the fucking 14 alternate endings that they couldn't pick from.
But the fat guy gets the nice
Okay, so
titties.
let's just talk about that, right? So, let's talk about this scene. He lets the eagle go, puts out his flying manta ray venom.
Oh, God.
He sends it to the eagle, which apparently can create weather. So he creates a storm. The storm can somehow harness the venom and put it out in rain. Dude. As the bird flies around, and the wizards show how actually valuable they would be to humans if they weren't pretentious pricks underground.
Well, there's two ways I look at this. Is extremely convenient had it been made for the movie, right? Or extremely genius had she started a story, wrote in some stuff like the bird, and was like, oh, fuck, I gotta find a way to end this, and then tied it all together. Because when you look at it, it's basically like, oh.
It's an add-on, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so here, hold on real quick to fix it up. Let's see. Okay, well, here's this bird that, this was the reason we came here is because it creates weather and needs to go to Arizona. And here's some potion that he pulled.
The wilds of Arizona.
Yeah, that he pulled, and it happens to be water soluble. So, just in case anyone was wondering, yes, it will work. And
then that's when it gets to an actual good part of the movie where, you do sort of feel bad for Jacob. When only he's forgetting about magic.
I thought I was proud of you guys.
It's not like he still would have been a poor factory man. Just because he knew about magic did not mean that he didn't have the same shitty life. And somehow, so what was really going on?
Yeah, somehow they gave a lot of emotion to that he wasn't going to die. It didn't necessarily mean they couldn't go seek him out again.
Tell him what happened.
Yeah, and there was no gravity to it other than that it was really sad because you had gotten to like... That's how good of a character he was. You've gotten to like him so much over the film that you're like, nah, he needs to remember.
When really all he did was do funny looks, laughs, and say, hey, thought you said I was one of yous.
Yeah. You guys.
That's pretty much all the shit he said. And did looks. And ran because he was fat. That's why we liked him.
It's like you can try the donuts.
I think it would have been a little bit better if Kevin James was the role.
Kevin James he was too busy being an assassin on Netflix.
Well, Kevin James is the greatest actor in television, comedy. He might be the best overall. I mean, if I were to take Kevin James in, let's say, Paul Blart versus Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean, I'll take Kevin James.
I'll take that. Mall Cop was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Mall Cop was a halfway decent movie compared to fucking Pirates of the Caribbean. People might argue that.
All right, so anyways, let's finish the movie. Ending 1 was that, right?
Yeah.
Ending 2 was let me go through my notes.
Ending 2 was
what was ending 2?
So that's when he gives him the silver eggs.
He's
back at the factory job. Does the old switcheroo
after you
again.
Think the fat guy was gonna lose in this movie.
They just keep giving it to him. They keep giving it back.
Yeah. He gets some silver eggs as collateral, because apparently that's all he can offer him when his platypus has millions of dollars of jewelry and treasure.
Well, the silver eggs are probably just as valuable.
Yeah. I don't know.
Silver is greatly decreased in value now.
I still think Newt's a criminal.
Newt is
He's
a
legit criminal. He's wearing a fucking drug dealer peacoat.
Well, that's what I was saying, too, is when you look at the Lestrange family, Bella Lestrange, who was like the great-granddaughter or something like that, is the right hand to Voldemort. So his ex-girl family ends up being the right hand to Voldemort. So yeah, maybe he is a little crooked.
Well, he walks crooked. He walks with a limp.
He definitely walks crooked. He smiles crooked. He looks crooked.
Maybe that's how he maxed bitches, because Tina was on his dick. She was trying to suck his dick multiple times.
Which, I mean, there's only, I don't know. I think he wanted the sister, but he was like, damn, this fat guy's getting it. And I got to look at this chick who's only looked good once in the whole movie.
Yeah.
That was when she didn't have a hat on, which was once in the whole movie.
Right? She looked like olive oil from fucking Popeye.
Dude, she totally did.
And so then they show that whole boat scene. He just leaves. He's like, hey, I'm socially awkward. And he walks
and then he walks back and he's like, yeah, I'll give you that book in person, bye. And he just turns back around in the most fucking special needs way possible.
Yeah.
And why did that goodbye take so long? Like, literally at the beginning of him
Because they wanted the movie to piss us off.
Well,
after it was solid for an hour and 50 minutes, they purposely wanted to piss us off.
Well, it even takes a long time, like, visually within the context of their world. Because when they start it, there's hella people around them. And then by the end of their conversation, there's no one around them anymore. Like, all the people had gotten on the boat but him. That's how long it took for him to sputter out 2 words. And mumble them at that.
Yeah. I couldn't understand shit.
God,
that fool said.
It was not easy to pay attention.
It's like he was speaking some shit that was written by Mark Twain. He's a fucking asshole. I really didn't like him.
I mean, I did, though, because he was shady.
Yeah.
He was a shady wizard, dude. Even when he was saving the day. He's like Han Solo.
But are not Pokemon trainers shady?
Well, yeah, they
only care
people.
about Pokemon.
They enslave sentient beings. Pikachu had thoughts and emotions, and Ash was like, no, fuck you, go kill that other Pikachu.
Yeah, and then they show the fat guy really coming up.
Yeah.
He has his own bakery. He's doing work. He's making penis skin armadillo donuts. And then the red-haired chick shows up, and she's like, man, I've been thinking about that. Me fucking folding your skin over to suck your dick. And he looks at her like, fuck, I'll never get a girl that looks like that again.
He looks
I need to hop on that.
Oh, shit. He probably did, and he has to give the smile like, I've banged you before, haven't I?
That was a great fat guy.
Dude, he was the best fat guy.
He was a great fat guy.
He was my favorite Kevin James, great fat guy. But he is an amazing fat guy.
And then the movie ends. Of course, no end credits, but we fucking stayed to the point of the fucking end of credits.
Well, so did everyone else, because they've programmed America to do that. Marvel has programmed America to sit until the end of the goddamn credits, because I swear to God, what was that, 40-some-odd people in the theater? Not one of them stood up until... We did.
There was a couple.
We did, and then we thought about it in the hallway.
I went back, sat down. Then while I went back, I was like, wait, I can have my phone on now. Who gives a fuck? And I started looking, I was like, oh, fuck, there's no end credit scenes. Then as I realized that, it's fucking over. I turned the goddamn lights on.
Stands up. That's because the industry's tricked us.
But on the whole, here's what I think about...
Can we start a segment called On the Whole? Because you say it every time.
Here's how I feel about fantastic bestiality and where to put it in their hole. I thought it was a bit of a CGI fest, but the CGI was solid enough to make the action okay. I think if you see this in 3D, it's a lot better in 3D.
I would agree.
I think the characters are acted well for the most part and fleshed out well. I just think there might have been a little too much going on in the movie.
It was complicated.
Although I did think it was fast-paced. I did think it was well-paced. There was good mix of like cutesy kid scenes and action scenes, and then this, the magic fucking congregation shit. They got all that through. There were some expositional scenes that were just super heavy exposition, but for what Harry Potter should be, it's not that bad.
No.
There should be like a fuckload. I would take this any day, these exposition scenes over Doctor Strange. And I don't hate on exposition scenes. I know that they're necessary in movies, but with these kind of movies, you're always like teetering on like, all right, when are they going to do it? When are they going to have one character ask, hey, what's this? And it's going to take fucking 5 minutes to explain.
Which is, in this movie, it's Jacob and the Obscura.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not with you guys in the wizard universes.
Hey, I thought you said he was one of you.
And the way he just walks up, you can see he's like a gangster, like bobbing his head, like, hey, I don't know what this Obscura is.
Even at the end when he hit the rain, he's like, hey, I wasn't even supposed to be here.
He's like, I wasn't even supposed...
Yeah, my stepson's an elf.
He's like, my uncle's a house elf. Too. Yeah, no, I would agree with you. And for my views on it, I like I said, like you said with the CGI, it is a CGI fest, but I think that actually worked for its credit because the CGI was pretty good and it made it visually entertaining. And when you take, it is better in 3D, but when you take it onto standard, it did not hinder it as much as I thought it would, and as much as it has done with other, movies that I've watched where you take it into standard and you're like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
This actually looked pretty... It looked like they shot it with 3D cameras, so in standard, it still had a lot of depth.
Yes, I agree.
And the coloring...
I like the world. I like, the lighting.
Yeah, the coloring blended
gray,
the CGI so that it looked real. The dragons looked lightweight real, you know?
And like I said, this has that V8 Chevy feel to it where it was handcrafted.
Yeah.
This wasn't like... Yeah, was it a brand push? Of course. But I think there was a lot of detail, a lot put into this.
Was it a brand push, though? Because the book came out so long ago. And the last movie, Harry Potter movie, was so long ago.
See, I've heard that was the screenplay.
No, that's The Cursed Child.
I don't know.
See, The Cursed Child it's quote-unquote a book, but it's really just the stage play of the play The Cursed Child that they released as a book.
I don't pretend to know or care. I will say that I like the grounded feel it had in New York, and I did like that it was just this underground scene. Like the wizard scene was really It was like, think about it, it was like right under the nose of New Yorkers. That kind of shit. Like I like that.
I would agree with that. And what's funny is it being in the 20s, because it's wizards, it didn't feel like a period piece. It really felt like that's where they should have been. You know, like
you're right. Yeah. It didn't feel like I had to, trick my eyes into thinking it was the 20s. It just was naturally felt that way.
Well, because they're wizards, they don't need technology. It's true.
Well, they don't need knowledge of anything besides magic.
So you cut out the technology, and that's what would have made it feel like a period piece. But since they don't actually need technology as wizards, there was no loss in the translation of the story.
That's true.
I thought it was. I think for a lot of things too, like you said, it's very careful. They did a lot to cover their ass.
Yeah, and I liked that it was dark. It had a dark. It had a really dark tone to it.
And they tried really hard to make the reveals big. Because you knew that Colin Farrell was going to be ominous, but you could never really guess why. And like I said, he was always teetering on sort of seeming like he cared. And the little girl, you thought she was straight evil.
Yeah.
Well, she was, but she was just an evil, shitty person, which might be even sadder for her being a little girl.
And it's confusing, too, because you did invest in Creed. Like, you knew who the Credence dude was. Right? Oh, shit, that bowl fade. It's right there.
Yeah.
But it just slipped by you. It did slip by you. I will admit that.
Yeah, and you really attribute it because they make it seem like more gravity around the little girl, and he's just like the shyer, always looking away.
Yeah, the big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was good. I can't give a dark cloud destroying things above a 7.5.
No, and that's where it drags it down. It's just terrible villain.
Terrible villain, and like I said, some like the ending was just like, what the hell? There was an editing problem there. I felt like you could have done that smoothly. Because I can guarantee you, I tell you right now, in that theater, 92% of people adjusted themselves 3 times for those fucking last scenes.
Because you're about to stand up and you're like, oh fuck. Yeah. You have to sit back down. Yeah. They should have just made it that it was. See, but they couldn't. They fucked up. What they should have done was made it so he says, okay, goodbye, I'm leaving, I'm going on this boat, but I can't do that because then we need him to be there to give the silver eggs, right? And you could say that they could make it so they just do the one guy's story first.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do that either.
Because that's the ending.
That's the ending. Yeah. That's what brings the gravity to the ending, so you had to split it up, but just...
that's why I was saying it felt like convoluted at that point. Then you started realizing how convoluted it was.
Yeah.
That's why I said you didn't feel that way until the end, when all the conclusions for everybody had to happen.
Yeah.
You didn't know if you had to appreciate it or if it was too much. And that was sort of my problem with it. But a 7.1 is a pretty fucking good score. That's a goddamn recommendation. Please subscribe to our stuff. If you don't want to subscribe, I guess I don't give a fuck. If you like it and listen to it, just keep downloading it.
And go to Twitter at Order of Opinion and tell us what you think.
Yeah, who gives a fuck about Twitter too?
Yeah, leave us fucking comments on iTunes, Jesus.
Tell us we suck.
Yeah, tell us we're good. Tell us we're bad. We just want to know that real people are listening to our shit.
So, what was your score for Fantastic Bestiality?
Bestiality. I'm on the fence.
You gave it a score in the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
But who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? Like, really?
I think you said a 7.3.
No, that is what I give it. And I want to give it, like, more towards a 7.5, but I don't really think it deserves that. Yeah. So 7.3 is fair.
Yeah, and I gave it a 7.1. Look out for our ranking of the HCU. The fucking...
the Harry Cinematic Universe.
Cinematic Universe.
Which, not a porn, by the way.
That'll be coming out within a couple weeks. We hate promoting, so that's about as good as it's going to get.
And porn rankings in a year.
Yeah. Fuck Scam... what's his name again? Newt Scamander. Newt Scamander.
Scamander. Which sounds like a Star Wars name.
Yeah, it is.
He should be a pilot with Luke. Fucking Newt Scamander.
We don't really have an order to go by, but that's our opinion.